Imagine a society crushed under the sheer weight of its own degradation. Greed governs human interaction, and the very concept of objective truth has entirely vanished. You cannot fix a systemic collapse of this magnitude with mortal armies or simple policy adjustments. Clearing this level of entrenched rot requires top-tier divine authorization. To gain this authority, we look at these verses from the Kalki Purana. Here, Lord Kalki offers profound prayers to Lord Shiva, specifically praising his role as the great destroyer at the time of universal annihilation. To completely dismantle an era defined by ultimate systemic evil, you must secure a direct alliance with the absolute Lord of cosmic destruction. Looking at this specific passage, we see Lord Shiva's immediate response. Being omniscient, he appears alongside Parvati to grant Kalki the exact benedictions needed to initiate the purge. Verse 25 introduces the first asset, a shape-shifting horse manifested directly from the divine eagle, Garuda. This ensures Kalki has absolute, unimpeded mobility anywhere in the universe. Next, the text details the gift of an omniscient parrot. This provides Kalki with perfect, instantaneous intelligence regarding events of the past, present, and future. Finally, he is presented with a fiercely radiant, jewel-bedecked sword. Its function is to physically cut away the heavy, sinful burden weighing down the earth. This combination of assets functions as a complete tactical suite, granting Kalki absolute mobility, flawless intelligence, and unmatched lethality. Equipped with this arsenal, Kalki departs on his steed for the ancient village of Shambhala, actively bringing these divine weapons into the mortal realm. His first operational step is a precise debriefing. Upon arriving home, he gathers his family and the local brahmanas to report exactly what transpired with Shiva. But the most fascinating consequence happens hundreds of miles away, in the capital city. The mere physical presence of Kalki's divine incarnation on Earth triggers a massive sociological phenomenon. This verse highlights exactly what happens. The citizens experience a spontaneous change of heart, performing sacrifices and charity. The text right beneath it describes a secondary effect. The irredeemably greedy become psychologically repelled by this sudden wave of piety and voluntarily abandon the country. True divine power rarely needs to strike a physical blow. Its sheer, overwhelming presence forces systemic corruption to collapse in on itself. Watching his society's behavior completely reorganize itself, King Vishakayupa realizes the Supreme Lord has arrived and immediately travels to see him. When the king arrives, he is met with an awe-inspiring vision. Kalki seated amidst wise personalities, radiating authority like the moon surrounded by stars. The impact of this encounter is immediate. The king is stunned in ecstasy, his hair stands on end, and he completely submits his political authority to Lord Kalki. Establishing a permanent new world order requires the total, voluntary subjugation of the old world's political leadership. Destroying the corruption of Kali Yuga was only phase 1. Phase 2 involves architecting an eternal system of righteousness. We see this direct command in the text, where Kalki orders the newly submitted king to solidify this era by performing a massive Rajasuya sacrifice. The ultimate political and spiritual objective of this campaign is to initiate Satyayuga, the golden age of truth and perfect cosmic order. To permanently govern this purified world, Kalki executes his political endgame. He plans to install 2 highly qualified rulers, King Devapi and King Maru. A divine mission isn't defined by perpetual rule. Once the self-sustaining machinery of righteousness is operational, the savior steps away from the world they restored. Once the new kings are seated upon the throne and the golden age of Satyayuga officially commences, the operation is complete. According to text 44, Kalki then makes his final move. He departs the material universe, returning entirely to his eternal spiritual abode of Vaikuntha. From the calculated acquisition of Shiva's weapons to the flawless transfer of human political power, every phase of the mission is executed with absolute precision. In the Vedic tradition, the apocalypse is not a chaotic end to existence. It is a highly precise, divinely orchestrated